Back in the past, right, just to know the meaning of one word, it takes time.
Students can also learn from outside the class. They can find some interesting way to learn English.
What English courses do CMU students actually have to take? Why should students work on their English? Why English language is really important? Hi everyone, welcome back to CMU Story, the podcast that share everything you need to know about life at Chiang University. I am Phai Araya Songsikhet, your host for today. Now, here's the questions. If you are a CMU student, no matter what your major is, you will have to take some English courses. But what exactly are these courses? Why do we need it? And how can you do well? To help us answer all these questions, we have two amazing, beautiful, gorgeous, talented lecturers from CMU with us today. So welcome Professor Ratcha Pantanit and Professor Norawan Pingkun. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Welcome to CMU Stories.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How you feel today?
We're a bit excited.
Same.
I'm honestly so excited and honored to have you here today with us, because I heard a lot of so many good things about your classes from students, so it's feel kind of really privileged to get to talk with you directly today. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us too.
Yes, okay. So before we dive into the details, could you please introduce yourself a little bit, tell us about your backgrounds or what you teach here at Chiang Mai University?
Okay, สวัสดีค่ะ My name is อาจารย์รัชชาพันพานิช or you can call me Air or Cha. I was actually a university student here during my bachelor's degree. I was an English major, and after that I went to UK for a master degree in literature. But now I am an instructor here at English department, teaching fundamental courses and non-major courses.
สวัสดีค่ะ I am อาจารย์นรวันปิงกุล You can call me น้ำตาล I have been teaching here at CMU for around 5 years, and I was a student at CMU when I was when I studied bachelor's degree, and I study master degree at CMU too, English for communication.
Wow. So we have got perfect guests for today's episode. Okay, so before we jump into the English courses, I want to start with something fun. So do you think English had changed over the year? Because back then we had to carry the paper dictionary everywhere. I remember when I was young, when I want to know some meaning of the vocabulary, I have to open the dictionary book so big, like this, where's that, like this. But now today, we can just look up the words on our phone and have a lot of technology to help us easily. So what your take on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. The change is really drastic if we compare it to 10 or 20 years ago. Back in the past, right, just to know the meaning of one word, it takes time. It takes a toll for us to go through that thick book of dictionaries, right? But nowadays, with just the tip of their fingers, students get to learn about a word that they never know before. They can look up the meaning, they can listen to pronunciation, and even find out how these words are used in conversations, right, in context. So I guess that makes learning English it's easier to learn English nowadays.
Apart from academic, students can also learn from outside the class. They can find some interesting ways or fun ways to learn English. For example, they can learn from some entertainment,
some games,
some games like games, movies, right? And that make English more fun. And one more thing, they have a lot of resource to help them improve that skill.
Yeah, they don't have to wait to ask the teacher in class anymore,
Yes,
right? They can
yes.
just find out any, answers that they are looking for themselves.
Yes, that's so true. But even though like technology helps, but do you think like practice is still key, right?
Yes, absolutely. It is still very, very important because English is a set of skills. So it's kind of like running or any kind of sports.
Yes.
You need to practice to become perfect.
Oh, okay, love that perspective. So I think okay, it's time to let guests into why we are really here today. English courses at CMU, what you need to know. First thing first, what English courses do CMU students actually have to take?
Well, it depends on their curriculum. So it's important for CMU students to carefully check their curriculum once they are officially enrolled at CMU. Now, there are two general education programs running at the same time. One, if the curriculum was created or revised in 2024, they are required to take 4 courses, 101, 102, 202 or 22X and 201. And the other program, the other thing, if the curriculum was created or revised in 2025, they have to enroll English 22X and the other 2 courses are chosen from the list in their curriculum. And this is how it works. If the E-Pro score, it depends on the E-Pro score as well. All right, if the E-Pro score is at B1 level or below, they are required to take 101 and 102 and 22X or 202. And if their E-Pro score is above B1 level, they can take 22X or 202 and then the other 2 GE courses.
Oh,
So it's a bit complicated.
I
It's
think
really
so.
depending on their curriculum. That is why we said that they should check carefully, talk to the supervisor just to make sure that they, enroll on the right courses.
Which department or which faculty is responsible for all these courses? Like who the boss here, like this?
All right. When it comes to academic, the EQD, Office of Educational Quality Development, oversees the structure, the course structures, And for, on the practical side, English department, Faculty of Humanities work closely with registration office to take care of the GE courses offered at CMU, including the non-major courses.
So we already know now who the boss, right?
Right,
This guy.
of course.
Okay, and so are there any like the courses that all students have to take no matter what their major is, or it does depend on the faculty or curriculum?
It depends. It varies, not between faculties, but between curricula as well. So right now, the only required English course for all students, regardless of their curriculum, their faculties, is what we usually call the 202 or 22X course. But it's actually not just one course, but it's more like a series of English for specific purposes courses designed for different faculties. For example, we have English for Humanities and Mass Communication, or what we call 223. This course is for students from these 2 faculties.
Oh, okay. And like roughly how many credits of English do students need to graduate? So how many credits of that?
Each English course is worth 3 credits, but how many courses or how many credits they need, again, it depends on their curriculum.
But mostly it's around 9 or 12?
9 or 12, yes, it would be either 9 or 12.
Okay. Now I heard some students say they have to exam the placement test like E-Pro. So how does this work and why we need that?
Yes, there is a placement test called the CMU ePro. In general, we use it to place students in different sections of 101 and 102 to ensure that in each section, students are of the same, at least try to be equal as
Yes.
possible of ability. And also for the new GE program, we use it to determine their study program as well. To ensure that students get to study the kind of English courses that are appropriate for their level. That is, if they have like higher proficiency, like B1 or above or higher, they can study courses that they think is necessary for them or something that interests them.
Okay, now I think let's talk about classroom experience, like the vibe of the classroom. So in fundamental English 1, 2, and 3, or etc., like what do students actually learn?
In 101 and 102, students will focus on the everyday interaction. And in 22X, they will more focused on the more advanced courses and more specific context.
Okay, so like do students do things like speaking, practice, presentation, writing, reading, like kind of like this, right?
Of course. In 101 and 102, the students will learn from the classroom tasks, which combine all the 4 skills: reading, writing, speaking, and listening, all integrated. But in 22X class, the student will more focus on some specific knowledge or specific context.
Okay.
I mean, if they are in mass communications and humanities, English for mass communication and humanities,
Yes.
they will focus on the context about mass communications and the general context related to humanities.
Okay, now so like for the big questions, what challenges do students actually have to face on the English courses?
Well, in my opinion, mixed ability classes can be quite challenging for both, students and teachers. Although we place students into sections based on their ePro scores, there is still a noticeable gap, in each section. And that could affect like the pace of the lesson, the activities, the interactions between the instructor and the students. So some students might struggle, just to catch up with the lessons. And class size can also be a problem sometimes because since English is an interactive class, like Ajahn Namtan said, right? They have to talk to the teacher, discuss something with their friends, do some group works. So if a class gets too big, it might not be, well managed.
Yeah, because some is like introvert person,
Yes,
right.
a little bit, right?
That's
more
right.
and more students these days are, introvert.
Yeah. Okay, so if students want to improve their English or like want to get a good grade, so what your advice?
My advice would be do your homework, attend classes regularly and do your homework. By homework, I'm not referring only to assignments given by your English teacher, but I'm talking about practicing English outside of classroom. Like we discussed earlier, how there are many different resources nowadays, right? So they should start listening to songs in English, watch movies in English, talk to their friends in English even. And more importantly, they should not be afraid to use English because making mistakes is natural. Like in today's podcast, I'm sure I've made a few mistakes.
Everyone do mistake,
Yes.
right? Okay, and quick one, does student like need to exam an English graduate exam like e-grad, right? So if like they still have IELTS, TOEFL, like or CMU takes like all of that English test, they still have to do that or not?
Well, if students start their enrollment at CMU, they have to take the ePro test, right? And and the e-grad upon their graduation. Okay, there are two tests, e-pro and e-grad, right? And if they have standardized tests, they can submit to be exempted to some basic fundamental English courses. And the students can find more information from the registration office website about this.
Okay, so like before we go to the last part, so fast, time so fast. Okay, so do you have some like any fun or memorable stories from your classes to tell?
Yes, but it's not particularly about English. But it's from 101 class when we were doing listening activities about what is called the mosquito tone. It is a high-pitched, annoying tone that only young people can hear. And during that activity, we had to play the mosquito tone for the students. And, they could all hear it. That was obvious. But I love the look on the students' faces when I told them that I could not hear anything because I literally didn't hear anything. It's due to its high frequency.
Yeah, how about?
Yes, for my class, in the same lesson, about the mosquito tone, I let students test their hearing aid. This is, it's not a medical test, but it's a fun test I found on YouTube. And to let students listen to the tones, different pitch or
frequency,
different frequency, and they can test their hearing aid, and they look very surprised when they felt that, oh, my hearing aid is older than my real age, something like that. It's kind of fun and relaxing things we did in class.
Oh, it looks so fun. I want to try that as well.
Yes, we will send you the link.
Right, you can test it on YouTube too.
Thank you. So why should students work on their English even if their major is not language related, or why English language is really important?
Good question. Personally, all majors are connected, I think, and as a global citizen, we can't deny that English is an essential part of our life. English can open your door to career growth, networking, and so many things. There will be some moments. I believe that even if you don't use English in your everyday life, but there will be some moments that English can improve situation. All right, you can use it in connecting with some colleagues or some other other fields in your careers, something like that. All right, and I strongly believe that English is a very important skill, and is it an advantage to open your doors to new opportunities in seizing some new opportunity abroad, to be successful in your career, even in everyday communication.
Oh, okay. And this question is really important. I really want to know so much, how does CMU Chiang Mai University show that we are an internationalization university?
Yes, I think you are right to say that Chiang Mai University really shows what it means to be an international university. First of all, there are both students and teachers from different countries around the world, and that makes the campus feel really open and diverse. And there are more and more international programs, more courses that involve international topics, more courses taught in English. So students are exposed to international setting that should give them global perspective. The university also has partnerships, from different places around the world, and that brings about research collaborations and exchange programs. So even if you are based here in Chiang Mai at CMU, you are still connected to the wider world.
Wow, that's amazing. So finally, for the students that who feel like nervous, worry, anxious, maybe like scary, like what they taking English courses, what would you say with them?
You may worry. And being worried is natural, absolutely natural, right? On the positive side, worrying can put you further, maybe to your improvement, your development. And I think just let it be. I mean, if you feel worried, just let it be. But you can use it as a push to put yourself, as I said earlier, right? To put yourself further in order to improve yourself. And don't let it, let it control you. That this feeling control you, okay? And try not to let it get to the point to discourage yourself, to harm your mental health, something like that.
Yes, I totally agree with you. You can worry, right? It's not just about English, but in general, you can worry, but don't worry too much.
Right.
But as an English student here, you can embrace your worry and think of your English course as a journey. Enjoy the journey, spending time with your teachers, your friends, and just improving your English skills along the way.
Oh, such a great advice. So thank you so much, Professor Rachan, Professor Narawan, to having with us today. Thank you so much. ขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you for having us again.
Yeah, okay. So for our CMU fans, no matter what you are, who you are now or where you are now, so don't forget to subscribe. And if you want more tips about CMU life, like student life, or we have a lot actually, like information, knowledge, fun knowledge, and like entertainment, education. So please follow CMU Stories. So see you next time. But before we say goodbye, it's kind of traditional of our show, so we will let our guests to speak the end line for our show. So can you say CMU story, see you next time? And you can you create the positions like what you want, like this, like that?
How many chances can you do this?
100 times.
And we can do differently, right?
Yes, of course. Okay, and then can you look at that camera?
Okay, that
Yeah,
camera
okay.
over there.
CMU Stories, see you next time.